May the elements be ever in our favor as
Truly.
we're outside.
Truly, let's hope it doesn't start raining suddenly.
Thunderstorms.
Welcome
y'all to the Knock Your Socks Off podcast. I'm Hannah.
I'm Ravi.
And Ravi, what are you knocking my socks off with today?
Getting a pet.
Ooh.
You should totally get a pet, and
Okay.
I'm going to use this time that has been allotted to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah. Provided.
Has been provided in nature to explain why you should get a pet.
Great.
Wouldn't it be amazing if I just was like, and here is the pet?
This is the one you're taking home, so best of luck.
That would be pretty impressive.
That would be bold.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
But no, you need to get a pet because number one, you want to fill your camera roll with pets.
Yeah.
You want to call your pet fur baby.
Yeah.
You want to spend all your money and your hard earnings on said pet.
Yeah.
And you want to make your entire identity about that pet. So
about that pet.
That's why.
There you go.
Thanks for coming to my quick TED Talk.
Thanks for that. Hope you knock your socks off, and we'll see you at the shelter.
Did I convince you? Is that it?
That was it.
That was the convincing?
Oh, wow. 2 minutes in, 2 minutes out.
To start though, like let's go down like memory lane, right?
All right.
Because a big piece of the world's history is using nostalgia to get people to do things. Mm-hmm. So we'll use that. So growing up, did you have pets?
I did. I grew up with dogs and loved them dearly and miss them. But yeah, I had a pet since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting because like me growing up with my brothers, we only ever had a fish.
Just one?
Just one fish, a Siamese fighting fish.
Oh, fighting.
Yep.
It didn't get to fight anything? It
No.
just had to fight itself, fight its inner
itself
demons.
to death.
Oh, no.
Its name was Maximus.
Oh, classic.
And I remember we came back one day, I don't know where we were, and the thing was just floating. Just dead.
Oh, no.
I think we had it for like a couple months.
A couple months is a pretty good life span for a fish.
But I remember though, like, do you remember like when you had your pets? Granted, like yours were dogs. Mine was a fish. But like there was this weird like fascination of like, oh, you wake up and it's like, what's this creature gonna be doing now?
Totally.
Like I would spend like not hours, what felt like hours, just like staring at this thing and wondering what it's gonna do next, like learning its behaviors. I'm sure as it was learning my behaviors. Granted, it's a fish, so memory span was pretty short.
It's pretty much like, when are you going to feed me? And how much are you going to feed me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and is my tank clean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, truly.
But like, do you remember like that, like the fascination that you had, like of this creature like running around? I do.
Yeah. No, I loved our dogs, and I even had a hamster for a bit of time too. I forgot to mention that one, and absolutely was fully captivated by its actions. And I think also even having a pet, like as you grow up, there's kind of a space where you grow up with the pet. And so being able to, as the dog, kind of like got more mature or whatnot, like I also was able to, think bigger with the dog and like have more adventures and like be more buddies rather than also just like staring at it like in a zoo, And so that was also like very fun and a very fun like discovery space to have with a pet.
There you go. So like that memory is again reason why you should get a pet right there. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you had good experiences then, right?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Currently I have a cat and I have a dog. The cat, has been great. I had it since it was a kitten. But and this might be shooting my whole thesis in the foot.
Oh no.
Like unfortunately the cat.
You were doing so good too.
I was doing so well, but like I also feel like you should, as a soon-to-be pet owner, you should know everything, right?
I agree.
You should, and you should also make sure that when you get a kitten, don't leave your chocolate martinis out.
Sure.
Because those things are dumb.
What had happened?
Have I not told you this?
I don't know.
Oh well, so when I first got him, his name's Megatron. He decided, I had a couple of chocolate martinis out because, sounds delicious. It's the holidays. And I leave the room for a second.
Chocolate, not espresso.
Like chocolate. Just chocolate. Like it's like Hershey syrup, vodka, Kahlua.
Oh, sure.
So just sweet. And I leave the room for a minute, go to the bathroom or something, come back, and this creature is just kind of like wobbling around.
Oh no.
And at first, like, he can like barely stand. And I was like, what is going on?
Sure.
And like I try and pick him up, and he just kind of collapses from the back. Like the back legs go out first. So at first I thought like he broke his back or something, or like done something to like screw up his back
Sure.
legs. And then I realized, I look over at my like chocolate martini, and it's a lot lower than the top line. And then I realized, he had consumed alcohol.
And chocolate.
And
I know dogs can't have chocolate. I don't know about cats.
I think like anything sweet is considered bad for them. So I had to go and find an emergency vet, and then
to pump his stomach.
Yeah, $5,000 later.
No. And then he was all better.
And it was fine.
He just had to be undrunk.
Stomach pump.
No.
Antibiotics, all that fun stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there is like there's caution. Like you have to be very on them, especially if you get them super young.
Yeah.
I've never had a puppy growing up or currently.
Sure.
I would imagine they're just as bad, if not worse.
Oh yeah, we never had puppies either, but there's that's a whole little being you're raising and training and forming, hopefully into the thing you want it to be, but it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I think that's a big thing that I don't have a pet currently, is because I do know the like, not ramifications in a bad way only. Obviously there's like so many benefits, and I'm sure we'll get into many more benefits of it. Yeah. But the space of like being serious about having a pet, you know? Like I think there's like a very much a seriousness around the commitment to that. And I don't know, like being able to have my own way and budget my money how I want to budget it and stuff, it feels more enticing to me. But I respect it.
Yeah, no, like I can give you some basic numbers of cost of cat versus dog, and surprise, surprise, I don't really think this is a surprise to anyone. A cat is a lot cheaper than a dog.
Yeah.
On average, the lifespan of a cat is a lot longer than a dog.
Sure.
The other nice thing is a cat. Wow, I'm really pro cat, I guess.
You're really pro cat, which is great.
It is
Cats
great.
are lovely.
They are great.
Yeah.
But like the thing I really enjoy about cats too is like you can just leave them alone.
Fair.
Like I can leave it alone for a day or two or whatever, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it knows where to go do its business. It gets the exercise it needs, and it's good to go.
Truly.
So like I think cat, it's a pro for a cat there. And like the intention when I first got my cat was always to get a cat, then a dog eventually, which I've done.
Yeah.
Probably get another dog at some point because having a dog is also a lot of fun. They love you blindly.
Sure.
Who says that you follow blind leaders? Oh, that's an Age of Apocalypse joke. Sure. Oscar Isaac. Sorry, don't know where that popped in my head. But yeah, dogs have their benefits too.
Of course.
They make you go out and force you to exercise unless you want to harm the dog, which is not a good thing. But why? What has stopped you currently? Like, what is the thing that's like, besides like budgetary reasons? Is there another reason that is you're paused right now and waiting?
Pause on getting some new paws.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a space where I like love my freedom of time and being able to.
Sounds like a check mark for cats.
You could be a checkbox for cats, yeah. But like, yeah, being able to go out and do things without having to like account for something at home is like very freeing. So
that's true.
I also love that, and I love my place not having pet hair all over it.
Robot vac.
And sure. And
I'm sure I could come up with like an answer for every single reason.
And there's but the truth is like, the essence of you're trying to talk me into getting one is like there will be a space in my life where I get one. I'm also not anti-pet. I'm very pro pet and very much like will get one. It's just like kind of knowing the commitment to it. I want to like have those things lined up, including smart. Like knowledge of the time that I want to spend at home and committed to like dogs, like having people sit my dog when I travel and stuff like that. Like all those things come at a price, if you will. It's
good though. Like I think it's very smart that you're taking that into account. I don't personally know anyone during the pandemic that went out and got a dog and then returned the dog, but unfortunately there were a lot of people that were like, well, I'm bored, so I need to get this plaything. And while you could argue, maybe there is a nice space where the dogs didn't have to like sit in a shelter by themselves and they got a little bit of time out, if you will. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. It is one of those things where it's like you have to take into account like, your life, how things change, and you're taking care of this creature. So it's good that you're being very like thorough and prepared. Yeah. I mean, I think having pets as a kid, and it was like the first dog we got is essentially my dog, and so I had to do all the chores for it and all the things. Pick up its poop. Yeah.
Walk it.
It's another reason I like cats.
I luckily didn't have to like pay for it in a sense, but
sure.
The parents paid for that. But the
that would be wild. Like
day-to-day chores.
How old were you?
I was 5 when I got the dog.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird if your parents like.
Well, yeah, I know.
If you don't pay for this dog's food, it's gotta starve.
You got it under the Christmas tree, and now you have to pay for it. But
I feel like though that would be. I think that's a good thing though. Like as a parent, if you get your kid, especially at like a young age, like I do wish my parents got us pets, like a dog. Like we lived in a place that had a good sized yard. It wasn't like it would be like kept in all day. And that kind of leads me to my next question, like, apartment versus house. Like, Los Angeles and any major metropolitan city, New York is probably the worst. What are your thoughts on that? Like, should somebody that lives in a 1-bedroom or like a studio apartment on a high rise in New York City, should they be getting a dog really?
I mean, again, I'm very pro pet, so if you can commit to that, then like great. Like, because I love to be like aunties to all my friends' dogs and all the things. So I've even stayed with many friends' pets who are in high rises or whatnot in different cities, and being able to commit to that just is a lot. So it's like, should they or should they not? You just have to know what's going on, because if you are down for walking those stairs or the elevators up and down multiple times a day to make sure that dog pees and stuff, like you just gotta like know going into it, and then it depends on the breed. Like once you're there too, kind of like there are different breeds that can definitely thrive in a smaller space, as well as like dogs that need some room to run and room to roam, and just kind of knowing those things based on where you live is smart, I think.
That is smart.
So, but I definitely knew some people in COVID or in other times that have gotten dogs and had to give them back, and it's really tough.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to do that either.
Yeah, there's also situations where other things come up. Like maybe your job is fully remote, and then suddenly you're forced to go back into an office.
Totally.
You can't control what your corporation or boss
lifestyle
is going to make you do.
Be that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Yeah.
As we're kind of like going through this discussion, and I've made many good points for cat versus dog.
Yes.
Are you leaning more towards cat first or dog first?
Ooh, I am technically allergic to cats, so I've always kind of been a bit like nervous about having my own cat.
Sure.
And
they say that'll help you build an immunity.
It will, and I'm around a lot of cats, so there is a space where I've gotten better, but there are certain cats that I like get real puffy and stuff around. So there is a space where I'm more nervous around it. I do though. It's really crazy.
I was gonna say, is that because they're just so cute?
They're just so cute. I'm just sitting right around them all the time. But I mean, to me, there's definitely an approachability to cats, and I think I think if I was really in a space where it was like I do want a pet, but I still want to have my freedom of time, basically. I think I would, but I'm definitely partial to dogs. So
makes sense. You grew up with dogs. You had dogs majority, so that makes a lot of sense.
And I really love I love going on walks, and there is a very much a part of my life that is already very much built, if you will, to have a dog. So that would be somewhat of a smooth transition, even though I know there would be changes to be had. But
sure, I think you could get a cat, and that cat could. You could take that cat for walks.
I could.
Yeah. Also, there's a bee on the table currently. I'm not sure if it's alive.
I think it's slowly alive. We don't want to kill it, though.
We're not going to touch it. We're just going to stare at it. But
I'm just going to note that it's there.
As a joke, there you go. There's your pet.
There's my pet. Just a tiny little thing.
Tiny pet bee. Yeah. You have fun with that.
Yeah. I have a friend who
it's
has
alive.
A lot of bees.
Yep, it's alive. Oh, God.
It's okay. It's
not
okay.
enjoying this now.
For
those listening at home, there's a bee.
There's a bee.
I am not crazy allergic, but I am allergic.
Fun fact, I am.
Oh, great. Two people allergic
thriving.
to bees. Great. Did you bring an EpiPen or any?
No, I didn't.
Cool.
That's not in my stash at the moment.
Awesome.
It's okay.
Well, this might be our last podcast ever. Great.
It's fine.
Just chilling.
Keep going.
Maybe it could be the bee has come to you because it wants to be your pet.
It wants to go home with me.
There you go.
True.
It knew
we would. Yeah. No, I have a friend who is a beekeeper.
That's pretty
Shout
cool.
out.
Nice.
Trying to harvest her own honey and stuff.
Did she just start or?
Like a year and a half ago.
Oh, nice. But she hasn't harvested honey yet?
Not yet, because it takes a long time.
Oh.
I think it's coming. I think it can come this summer now.
But wait, it takes a couple years?
I think so, yeah. Because you filter through it to kind of they are making honey or they're making.
But it's just not edible honey.
Yeah, for
interesting.
Us. And I think you only want to take a certain amount at a time. It's not like you can just take their entire feed and stuff.
Yeah, take everything and be like, this is mine now.
Take the hive.
Take the hive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a reference to Destiny? That's a video game.
Oh.
And there's a whole enemy group called the Hive.
Got it.
I was about to be like, whoa, you know Destiny?
Wow.
That's weird. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So then getting a pet, also kind of like any big life change. Like if you suddenly decide I'm going to become an indoor rock climbing boulder person,
sure.
You have the ability to make brand new friends in that space and make that your entire identity.
Sure.
If you become a person that like loves to go to breweries, you could get brewery friends.
Sure.
So if you get like a dog I think is more likely to get you out and about and meeting new friends, like introvert versus extrovert type person. Like, is that a good reason to get a dog? Like, if I want to be more of an extrovert, so
so it's like you feel like you are introverted, but you want to become more extroverted. You're saying?
Yes.
Ooh, I would encourage people probably more often to find a pet that aligns with what you already are, rather than like having a pet change your whole space and vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, just again, because I'm often thinking that the pet needs to take priority, but like the space of like you don't want to think like, oh, I'm on this like crazy kick and I'm gonna go out and do all these things, and then like if that's not something you can sustain, then that's like not fair to you or the pet kind of thing. And so if you want to change your personality, I don't know if asking a dog to do that or even a cat. Like if you're like, I go out too much, I'm going to get a cat and hang out with the cat all the time.
Oh.
Like I don't think
that's
also.
I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah, like I don't think that like just like, getting a pet to solve those things. I would probably recommend people to have their pet more align with who they are.
See, I would say go to therapy if that was your go-to. It's
I'll
get a pet to change me.
I would recommend therapy first. Please go to maybe there's a way that you want to change and you can find sustainability in your change, but go to therapy first, I would say.
So I mean that brings up an interesting point, like people that have like therapy dogs. Anyway, well, we're not qualified to talk into that, so we're gonna stay clear of that subject.
yeah.
But I never thought of it that way, where you feel like you party too much, so you're like, I'm gonna get a cat.
Yeah.
To make me stay in more. Yeah. That's kind of funny.
Or dog. I mean, like there are a lot of dogs that are like lap dogs and at-home dogs. Yeah. Like it's not like dogs are only extroverted creatures.
I mean, I only ever I got my first pet myself, which was Megatron, because I finally was living by myself.
Sure.
And I had my little apartment, and it was just eerily silent.
Sure.
And like being a person that consistently, like I had brothers growing up, went to college, had a roommate, and then moved out to LA and had roommates, and I was finally by myself. I was like, this is way too quiet.
Got it.
And that was like my main reason for getting, because I just needed something.
Little life,
little movement. So.
Yeah, which is a beautiful thing. And I mean, like, it benefited you. You are still with Megatron, and it's a great little partnership y'all have.
That's true.
Little family.
Little sweet little guy. That is
named after not such a sweet little guy.
He's named after a maniac, technically.
Sure.
I mean, we're not going to get into Transformers like lore and history right now, but Megatron is a genocidal maniac. So I'm not entirely sure why I did that.
I'm pretty sure he knows why.
Yeah, definitely. It's such an interesting name.
It is an interesting name.
It's like people are like, oh, what's your cat's name? Steve or Bob.
Yeah,
yeah, I call my Stormtrooper armor Bob.
It's true.
That's how bizarre I am. It's really bizarre.
I mean, do you feel like in the essence of having the cat at home, like did it end up like kind of providing the little life burst you needed, or?
Yeah, no, it definitely helped kind of, I won't say like coordinate my life, but like it definitely helped kind of give structure to a degree, because it helped create, like obviously I was working and things, and you're working a Monday through Friday job and all that stuff, but it's like after and outside of work hours that you have this little thing that you're caring for, and it kind of gives you a little bit of structure to like everyday life, if you will.
Yeah.
And like that adds like new adventures and new conversations with people. And learning new things. Like before this, I had not taken care of a cat solely by myself, so I had to like learn, different cat litters do different things. Different foods in a cat causes different smells, like all that fun stuff.
Sure.
And then also like how often should you take your cat to the vet and all that, and when he decides he wants to be sick for whatever reason, and then you freak out, and then you realize, oh, it's just because he doesn't like his water.
Sure, 100%.
My cat's really moody.
Uh-huh.
My cat is crosshairs. Now that I think about it. Shout out to our previous pod or our first pod. Yeah.
And then you relate to that. So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's kind of like your cat has taken on a bit of your personality.
Shit.
So we just walked into that one. I
Yes,
think I'm
we did.
knocking his socks off now.
You
LOL.
are. Yep, totally.
I mean, were you craving structure when you got him? Like, obviously you said you wanted like the burst of life, but like, did you also like kind of want structure, and did that help?
No, it definitely helped because it was like, when you have I'm not saying people's roommates are their pets, but like when you have roommates or siblings or you're living with another person, that person is also giving like spurts of life of like, let's go do this, let's go do that, or let's talk about this, or hey, I want to watch this, or something, right?
Sure.
By having like another living thing there, like, it gives you that like, oh, what else are we doing?
Sure.
Like, it's not like Megatron's like, hey, let's watch the new Transformers movie.
Yeah.
It was more like, hey, I'm doing this habit that you don't like. Now you have to go research it and figure it out. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, it wasn't intense, but it was like good structure.
And you could sustain it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a change that you could sustain.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Did you ever like want to have your pet like drastically change you?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I mean, again, like I'm also one that I don't want to be changed by anything.
Sure.
Like I want to initiate my own change. And
sure.
I think to your point, like you said, like I don't think you should let a pet dictate and change you. I think you said it like a long time ago where it's like you don't want to ever have like a dog or a pet like kind of control you and live your life around that because that's not healthy.
Right.
That's also how you create resentment.
It is. It's not great. And again, like being aunties to many dogs in a sense. And I've taken care of some puppies for some friends when they've been on vacations and stuff. And that is sometimes the space where it's like, that is a whole life. And so that's where I'm like, even though I want a dog, I don't think I will ever get a puppy because that asks a lot of
work. Yeah.
And so.
Would you do a rescue or would you pay for one or?
I'd rescue a dog.
Rescue? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or a cat. I mean, dog or cat. I don't know. But for the sake of wanting a dog at some point, I'll rescue a dog for sure.
Dave Bautista actually recently was asked about his rescues, and I think I'm definitely getting the year wrong, but it was something like in 2012 or 13 that he got his first 2 rescues.
Cool.
And he was of the mindset that you don't do rescues prior, and he didn't realize like the need for rescues and how many dogs there are. And he's a big advocate. He's worked with a couple of like groups in the Los Angeles area to like help promoting that idea of like you don't need to go buy dogs and purebreds and these things. Like there's enough dogs that need good homes.
There are. Yeah. I grew up with rescues as well, so it was definitely kind of
nice
in the space to normalize that, which I love.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't mean they don't come with their own trauma.
Yeah,
and again, it's not this like easy thing. It's a big commitment to welcome that and adapt, your life as well to making sure they're okay.
Well, Megatron is from NKLA on the west side, which is the no-kill shelter. He was a rescue. They just found him in a box, being weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing.
Being ready for his villainous rise.
Villainous rise. Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
I will say that with Megatron, the one regret I still kind of have is he had 2 siblings. He had a sister and a brother in his like little litter group. The sister was already adopted. It was him and his brother. And the shelter wanted me so badly to take both.
Yeah.
And I was just straight up with him. I was like, this is my first pet. I don't know how this is going to go.
Sure.
I live in a 1-bedroom by myself.
Right.
And I work full time.
Right.
I don't know if that is the smartest idea.
Right.
And like, I think it would have worked out. I'm sure it would have worked out just fine. But that is the one thing where I'm like, I kind of do wish I had taken both. And it wasn't like cost-wise. Cats are, I'm not saying cats are cheap. And I'm not saying dogs are cheap. But like, it is reasonably priced.
Sure. Yeah. For
something like
and stuff.
Yeah, for paying for the monthly cost, food and cat litter.
Sure. No, yeah.
It's like something like $50 to $75 a month.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy.
like, a couple avocado toasts. I'm fine sacrificing that.
Oh my God.
Gonna
really bring up the millennial, like this, if you just spent less on this.
Avocado
toast and lattes at all times is like where we really, done
I'd have a spaceship by now.
Yeah. My parents' last dog that they had, when they rescued her, she had a sister too, and they had to make that choice, and it is really tough.
Yeah.
I think they ended up finding out that they asked the shelter to like let them know within a week if that dog wasn't
adopted,
rescued, then they would cross that bridge. But the sister got adopted too.
Nice.
So,
That's
it's kind
good.
of, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of litters that sometimes come in or all those things. So yeah.
Besides a cat and a dog as a pet, have you ever in your entire life, and this would be even when you were a kid, and as kids we have crazy fucking ideas. I wanted to be a NASCAR driver.
Got it.
When I was 13.
Adorable.
But have you ever wanted any other kind of pets besides a dog or?
I mean, we had
cat?
fishes for sure. We had fish at different times and goldfish and little, I think we never had the, what did you call yours, a fighting fish?
Yeah, Siamese fighting fish.
And what were the ones that were really colorful with big tails?
Yeah, those are the Siamese ones.
They were fighting fish. There's another, I feel like
beta fishes.
Oh, beta fish. Yeah, we had some of those at one point.
Yeah,
those ones fought too. Didn't they fight each other too?
I mean, I feel like all fucking fish fight.
They kind of do. And then I had my own hamster for a while, and I always wanted a rabbit, and I never had a rabbit. I love animals, so
rabbits
there's
cool,
never a shortage of. They do smell. So do hamsters. Honestly, any animal in a cage smells.
Yeah.
And it was really tough I think I got the hamster when I was 12.
Damn.
And to keep that thing clean was a chore.
Yeah.
So.
No, cats can be the same way.
Yeah.
If you don't do the right cat litter or you're not cleaning it consistently. Mm-hmm. Dogs, same thing. If you don't take it out, it'll do what it needs to inside.
Yeah.
I also had turtles at one point.
Oh.
I had baby turtles. Unfortunately, the friend that got them for me, they got them down in little Chinatown.
Oh, in LA. You had them in LA.
Yeah. And they were already not healthy when I got them.
Oh, no.
So they ended up dying within, I think, 7 months.
Oh, no. All of them? Or how many did you have?
There was 2.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
okay.
and one passed, and then a week later the other one passed.
Dang.
Yeah, it was rough.
Those were expensive to get tanks and stuff, though. Did you have all the material?
I had to get all the material,
Sheesh.
and it was So she got them.
Aquatic animals are not cheap. A fish is kind of cheap, but an aquatic animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she got them for I think $25 for the both.
Oh, sure.
And then I ended up spending $200-$300 on everything.
Oh no. Yeah.
And then had this massive aquarium, and then they were gone.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I was like, well, I've got everything. Well, let's give it a try again.
Sure.
I just couldn't bring myself to it. I was like,
yeah.
I'm clearly not cut out for that, and it's a lot of work.
It's a lot
pH
of work.
levels of the water, the water purity, the food that's going in, time of day, the humidity in the apartment. It's a lot. And I could not maintain that. So
again, people who have aquatic pets sometimes make that a bit of their personality because their place is built for that, or they invest a lot of money into really fancy tanks and.
Well, the other idea that I had for the tank, because it's a big fucking 35-gallon tank
sure
thing.
Is.
And I was like, maybe I could build a diorama with Gundams and things and
sure,
shit.
Sure.
And that was, again, it was a lot of work, and I was like, I'm not going to do this.
It's a fun idea, but,
I ended up just giving the tank to somebody that was, looking to get more fish or something.
Love it.
Got good use out of it somewhere.
Yeah. But, so I've had different pets and have loved all those, but I've never had a cat, so.
Well.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're getting a cat.
Maybe.
I mean, we could go right after this and get you one.
We could.
Not that difficult.
There are plenty.
There are. We could probably walk around and find one.
It's true.
Here in this park.
Yeah. Do you find that pets approach you well? They're
Yes,
nice.
1,000%.
Nice.
They're like, oh my God, you're not doing so good.
Oh, that angle. I see. They're like, I'm gonna be your therapy pet for just the next hour. It's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna help you out. You clearly have things going on, and you need help.
I see.
No, I think that most animals I get along with great.
Yeah.
I've learned the hard way. When you enter, especially a dog's home. I didn't grow up with dogs, so when I started going to friends who had dogs and things, I always thought you just pet them, as opposed to crouch down, let them sniff you, let them come to you. I thought you just go up to them.
Did you get bit?
I got bit once. Yeah, that's how I learned. I learned the hard way.
Then you learned. You had to adapt the future.
I blame my parents for not having us have a dog growing up.
Sure.
So
you didn't have any neighbors with dogs, or?
One neighbor did, but I didn't really talk to them. They were the weird family.
Yeah, definitely want to approach a dog slowly and never assume that the dog's cool to be pet until you ask the owner.
Also, when you see a dog in public, don't go and pet it.
Correct.
Ask the owner first.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, if the dog comes up to you and starts sniffing you and jumping at you, if the owner is not stopping the dog or asking you if it's okay, yell at the owner.
There you go.
Because they need to control their dog.
As the person walking, you also don't have to pet a dog, and be in the moment.
Yeah.
You can also have your boundaries.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sometimes if I'm in a bad mood and a dog comes up to me and the people are like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll be like, control your dog. Leave me alone. I'm in a mood.
I'm in a mood and I'm about to Megatron this dog. Keep him away.
Last thing here.
Yeah.
You know, before we kind of wrap it here and
really come to the
realization that you're going to go get a cat.
Okay.
You know, what should people do if they're on the fence and they're like, but I want to know if I can do a dog or a pet? Like, is there another option, you think?
Ooh, that's a great... I mean, I would definitely tell people to, like, spend time with other people's pets if you can.
That's a good one.
Like, I think if you're just, like, somehow, like, isolated enough to where you don't know what it is to own a pet or have a pet or be around pets, and then somehow just get a pet and learn that way, that's one way to do it.
Trial by fire.
But I would say if someone really wants to kind of, like, dip their toe in versus diving right in, I would definitely say, like, spending time with other people's pets. And then, I mean, and I'm always a person that is, like, an advocate for asking lots of questions. Like, if, like, I'm grateful that I have, like, not only my own experience, but, like, a lot of friends who have pets. So I can ask them about pet insurance, and I can ask them about, like, what their schedule is and, like, what that looks like, and, like, the accessibility that the dog or the pet has, like, to the home, and much less, like, blending homes with multiple pets. You know what I mean? Like, all those things, or if you're bringing a new dog in with your old dogs, like, you know, all these things. There's so many scenarios that are really tough, but I'm always the space of, like, ask your people, like, and if they don't want to talk about it, obviously you don't have to, or you can Google all these things too.
The internet.
But I believe, like, being able to spend time around that, and especially in order to, like, figure out what breed you would want, or, like, kind of, like, what age you would want. Like, honestly, if I maybe don't get a cat first, I could for sure see myself adopting, like, a senior dog.
Oh, okay.
Someday. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be like a 10-year-old, you know, who's but like a 6 or 8-year-old, which is, like, kind of sometimes considered senior dogs.
Yeah.
And just, like, having them for, like, 8 more years or something, you know, like, and just kind of, they're already pretty chill, already pretty laid back, kind of ready to just be on the couch and hang out. You know, like, so I think, like, there's kind of. And so, like, there's this space where there's so many versions of, like, getting a pet that it doesn't have to just look like getting a puppy or getting a kitten, that, like, I think once you're able to spend time kind of in the pet world, I would say, like, that's the way to do it. I also love, one of the things I love doing is pet sitting. And so you literally get to be...
You're right in it.
You're literally in it. You're a fake owner. You're the substitute teacher for that pet for, you know, a week or a weekend or something. And that's also a really great way to test the waters and see if you like, you know, making sure you're home at certain times for the dogs and the cats and, you know, all those things too. And so that's what I would say. And or that's, like, definitely what keeps informing me of, like, knowing when I'll be ready for a pet. And
then the other one is a plant.
Or get a plant. You know, exactly.
Still a living thing.
Truly, like, if you want to practice taking care of something, 100%. Get a house plant.
I've been great with my cat. I'm terrible with plants. So bad with plants.
You know, everyone has their strengths.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean if you can't take care of a house plant that you shouldn't get pets. But
True.
You know, it could be a good, again, when you're saying trial by fire, if you will, like to at least start. What would you recommend for somebody who hasn't had, I mean, for maybe even someone in your scenario who didn't know pets, and would you say, like, yeah, dude, just go get one? Or would it be like, hey, these is a different way you go about it?
I would say get a cat.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Don't do a kitten.
Sure.
I did not realize how much time and energy is needed. It's a lot.
Yeah.
The one benefit, though, with a cat or a kitten is, like, you train it the way you want to train it.
Valid.
Because it's, you know, there at the beginning. But with a cat, it's you don't have to, like, be on this kind of crazy time schedule.
Yeah.
You know, there is technology that allows you to do, like, smart feeders and things, which is great. There's also, like, automatic cat litter things that you can do.
True.
So yeah, I would do a cat over, like, a dog. I feel like a cat is a good, like, precursor to a dog.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Easy enough.
That. Yeah. Would you go back to rescuing?
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I will not buy an animal. I would just rescue it. I think that's better to do. It's more work, but I think it's more beneficial to everybody.
And all of those animals are trainable. Even if you get a dog when they're 2, even if you get a dog when they're 6 or 10, I would, definitely don't count out the old guys. Yeah, I'm always just out here being like, don't count them out. Like, they also need homes and love, and sometimes they're even more chill, which is
Very
awesome.
True.
For at least at the, from the jump, kind of. They're ideally usually house trained. They're already spayed. Like, they're kind of chilling and grooving. So you can just kind of jump in and join the party, and they can just be the cool kid, you know?
Cool kid on the block.
Yeah, exactly. The new kid, the cool kid.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm about that, but yeah. Shout out. I mean, I don't know if I'll get a pet today.
Damn.
But these are good.
Failed.
These are really, you didn't fail. I think like the space of having a conversation, I know these thoughts in my mind, but I don't often talk about them for the sake of like really laying it out. So it's like good to like, again, have these conversations, help people think about things more critically and be able to like make informed decisions, because it is bringing a living thing into your home.
Very true.
And you really need to make an informed decision to best not only set yourself up well, but set the animal up for success too.
It's a nice like corporate closeout. I like
it is, but that's because I believe in it really strongly. Please set your animal up for success as well as yourself.
Boom.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. But and then let it knock your socks off, because I will say, any pet I even spend time around, I'm happier. There's a lightness to life when you're around an animal. They will proudly and unbeknownst to their own little positive spirit, like they will knock your socks off and they will make your world brighter. So I say all these things that I'm thinking about that are like, you know, not negative, but like, you know, they're those critical, like I want to know those things before I go into it.
Yep.
But then also it's like those dogs or animals like make your life better too. And I know that, and they will knock your socks off in the best of ways.
Best of ways.
So please consider rescuing.
Boom.
Yeah.
We have no links or anything. I mean, I guess we could put links in the description. Yeah.
We'll do our research. We'll help you out too.
We'll put some links down there.
And for Hannah, I guess we're doing research for Hannah, and we're doing research for you.
There you go.
There you go. I like it. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for joining me. And thank you for listening, as always, on Knock Your Socks Off, the podcast. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/KYSO podcast, and check us on TikTok, KYSO podcast. New pods drop every Saturday.
Yeah. Who knows what next week will be? We didn't know. You didn't know this one was about pets.
Exactly. It's like, when are these even recorded?
Knock your socks off.
Bye.